Hi everyone, welcome to Fit with Coach Kat. Today's workout, we have a moderate workout using 2 dumbbells. We're going to go through some mobility, some strength training, and some metabolic conditioning at the end. So when you're ready, let's begin. We're going to start today's workout like we always start our workouts, and that's by connecting our breath to our pelvic floor. So you can do this sitting down or standing, wherever is most comfortable. We're going to take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to squeeze our pelvic floor. Inhale, relax your pelvic floor, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, relax your pelvic floor, exhale, squeeze your pelvic floor. If you're a visual person, feel free to open your eyes and watch my hands. Inhale, relax, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, relax, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, relax, exhale, squeeze. When I say squeeze your pelvic floor, I mean pull up through your sex organs, squeeze your anus, hold for 1 second, and then relax. We're going to try and sync it with our breath, which will make our lifts and our pelvic floor stronger. From there, I'm going to get you to stand up at the back of your mat. If you don't have one, don't stress, you don't really need one. You're going to step forward with your right leg, put your left hand on the ground, reach your right arm around, open your chest up to the sky, and then try and get your right elbow as far down your leg as possible. This is called the world's greatest stretch, and we will always warm up with this mobility exercise. It is one of the good ones. From there, step back to high plank and then swap legs. Bring your left leg forward and do the same on the other side. You can keep your back leg off the ground like I am here, or you can drop your back knee onto the ground if you want to. It does the exact same thing, it doesn't matter what you choose. This is your last rep. Now we're going to go back to high plank, walk our hands back to our feet, come all the way up to standing. Then we're going to get into a sumo squat position, so our feet are shoulder distance apart. Hold onto your feet with your hands, and we're going to go through some hamstring squats. So hamstring squat is essentially a squat where you don't stand all the way up. It is just getting a really good stretch through your posterior chain all the way down your hamstrings, and then you're dropping down into that really deep sumo squat at the bottom. Keep your arms on the inside of your body as you work through these. You've got one more, and we're going to put our elbows on the inside of our knees and really rock into our hips here, opening them up as much as we can. So you're just moving from side to side with your feet flat. And now we're going to go into some rotation. So hold on to each foot and raise the other arm up and rotate that torso towards the sky. This is your last rep. Now I'm going to get you to stand up, and we're just going to go through some full body rotation. So just swing your rotations from side to side, move your torso, really warm up through your whole torso. This is your last one. Now I'm going to meet you down on the ground, and we're going to start some glute and core activation exercises. So we're going to go through some glute bridges here. Put your both feet on the ground. You can touch your heels with your fingertips, and you're going to push through your heels, raising your hips up to the sky and then slowly lowering them all the way back down. It should be a straight line from your knees to your shoulders, and you really want to make sure all the weight is being pushed through the back of your foot, not your toes. That's your last glute bridge. Now we're going to go into single leg glute bridges. So cross your right leg over your left leg, and now push all your weight through your left heel and squeeze your hips up towards the sky. That's your last rep. Now we're going to swap sides. Place your foot on the ground, swap your legs over and push through your heel, really focusing on that single glute working. Now it's time for some core activation. Pull in your belly button, put your legs up at 90 degrees angle and your arms up directly above you. Now we're going to do something called a dead bug. So your right leg and your left arm go down at the same time, and then your left arm and your right leg. You want to make sure you're pushing your lower back in towards the ground while you're doing this exercise, as well as pulling your belly button in towards your spine and really contracting around your midline. This is your last rep. From here we're going to flip over onto our tummies, put our arms up by our ears, have our legs nice and straight behind us, and we're going to do some Supermans. Both our legs and our arms are going to raise up at the same time and then lower back down. You'll want your arms to be straight, biceps to be next to your ears, palms facing each other, squeezing your butt at the top. Last rep. After this, we're going to go through all of that glute and core activation work again, starting with the glute bridges. So flip like a pancake back onto your back, push through your heels, and really focus on getting those glutes fired up.
Like two magnets, we are drawn to each other. You just know how to push all my buttons. Moved out of town and I erased your number, but still I find myself calling in the middle of the night.
This is your last glute bridge, then we're going to go into our single leg glute bridges. So start by crossing your right leg over your left knee. So you've just got your left leg on the ground and you're going to start pushing through that left leg and getting that glute fired up. This is your last rep, and now we're going to swap sides. That's your last rep, and now we're going to get into some dead bugs. So make sure that lower back is pushed into the ground and you're pulling your belly button in towards your spine. That's your last rep, and now we're going to flip over to our front and do those Supermans. That was your last rep. Well done. Now we are all activated and ready. We're going to start our strength cycle. So grab your dumbbells or whichever weights you're choosing to use. We're going to go into some front rack squats to begin. So you want the dumbbells to be sitting up in a front rack position, which is up on your shoulders, elbows pointing forward. You see how my elbows are at a 90-degree angle? They're not dropping down, everything is nice and high. Feet are hip distance apart, and now we're going to go all the way back and down into a squat and stand back up again. As you're working through these squats, make sure you're not dipping forward and you are coming upright. Your chest is always pointing forward. If you are struggling to keep that position, drop one of your weights because it's too heavy. This is your last rep, and now we're going to get over to some bent over rows. So your feet are hip distance apart, so a little bit more narrow than what you just had, and you are going to bend over and pull those shoulders back and down, pull those elbows aiming towards your glutes. See how my back is completely straight. I'm not hunched at all, and my shoulder blades are squeezing together at the top. So you're really thinking about sending those elbows towards your glutes, keeping them in nice and narrow. It is not a shrug. It shouldn't be coming up through your neck or your traps at all. It should stay nice and low. From there, we're going to put our weights back up into a front rack position and get into reverse lunges. So exact same position for the weights, and we're doing alternating. So that means we're going to go right leg goes back and down, knee touches the ground, and then left leg goes back and down, knee touches the ground. This is your last rep, and then we're going to get into some dumbbell deadlifts. So again, feet are hip distance apart. We're going into that hip hinge position where your bum is going back. If there was a wall 1/2 meter behind you, I want you to try and tap the wall with your bottom. Your weights are hanging in front of you. All your weight is through your heels, and you're really getting a good stretch on your glutes and your hamstrings before you stand back up. One thing to remember with the deadlift, if I could pause you at the bottom and put a cup of tea on your back, it should be nice and straight. So do not round through your spine. And that is our first round done. I'm just super curious here at what the surf lifesavers are doing. They seem to be fanging around on the boat a lot throughout this video. And now we're going to go back up into our front rack squats. Elbows pointing forward, and let's go bum back and down. Remember, with squats, we want to try and get our hamstring and our calf to meet behind us. If you are having trouble getting depth, get something to aim towards. Put a couple of pillows piled up behind you so you've got something to aim your bottom towards. This is our last rep, and then we're going to get into those bent over rows. So feet are hip distance apart, hinge over in that deadlift-like position, pull your elbows back and shoulders are nice and low. This is not a shrug, this is a squeeze between your shoulder blades, at the bottom of your shoulder blades. That's your last rep. And then we are going to get the weights back up into front rack position for those reverse lunges. So let's move through it. Right leg back, touches the ground, then left leg. Keep moving. Take me to a different place. Just the two of us, and we can stay up all night, kissing under street lights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night. Everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you. This is your last rep, and then we're going to go into those dumbbell deadlifts. So send your hips back and down, get that hip hinge happening. You want to tap that wall behind you with your bottom whilst keeping your back completely straight. Your toes should be very light throughout a deadlift. See how I'm lifting my toes up every now and again? That's just a bad habit, but it sort of demonstrates how light I am on my toes, and all my weight is pushing through my heels. And this is your last rep. Now we're going to have a very short break, and we're going to do one more round. So I'm just super curious what that boat is doing, because they're just fanging it up and down right behind me. Literally this whole video, just jumping waves like it was the strangest thing. So we're going to start again and get into those squats. This is your last round. So we're going to go through this final bit of our strength cycle, and then we're going to get into a really fun little metcon, which is going to get your heart rate up and make you feel like you are really working. So let's just push through. We don't have long to go. We're nearly done. This is our last set of squats. And that's your last rep. So now we're going to hinge over and do those bent over rows. Squeeze your shoulder blades back and down. Aim your elbows for your bottom. That's your last rep. Now we're going to get back up into a front rack position for our last set of reverse lunges. You can do it. We are nearly there. That's your last rep, and now we're going to get into those dumbbell deadlifts. Get a really good stretch in that hamstring. We're doing an RDL, which is a bit more of a stiff leg than a normal conventional deadlift. So we're going to feel a bit of a stretch in our hamstring while completing this exercise. That's your last rep. Now we're just going to take a little break, and then I'm going to run you through the exercises for our metabolic conditioning. So I'm going to demonstrate the exercises for you whilst talking you through them, and then we will get into the workout. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is called a dumbbell hang clean. A hang clean is a movement where you essentially bring the dumbbell from your knees up to your shoulders. You want to shrug the weight up and have it move in a direct line straight from your knees up to your shoulders, not swinging out, it moves up. The beginning position is like a deadlift position. See how my back was completely straight, I had the hip hinge, then I stood up and I shrugged the weight up. The second movement is called a man maker. It is essentially a burpee with a overhead push at the end, or a double dumbbell snatch if you want to call it that. So you do the burpee and then you put the weight on your shoulders and push it overhead. So those are the two dumbbell movements. The third movement we're going to be using is a sit-up. Very easy. Feet together. We're going to do a butterfly sit-up, so the soles of your feet are together. How this workout will progress is we will do 1 rep of everything, 2 reps of everything, 3 reps of everything, 4 reps of everything, and 5 reps of everything. So it'll be very quick. So just move along with me. We're going to start with the hang clean, then we're going to do the man maker. So we're going to hit the deck, do a burpee, drop all the way down to the floor, jump up, and then swing those weights up overhead. The last movement is your sit-up. So sit down on the ground, soles of your feet together, and do 1 sit-up. Now we're going to do 2 of everything. So we're going to start with our hang clean. Our dumbbells are down by our side, and we shrug our shoulders. Try not to swing it up. It's more of a pulling action. Land them on your shoulders, elbows pointing forward. Now into those man makers. Hit the deck into a burpee, and then throw that weight up overhead. Once you have completed your 2 man makers, you hit the deck and you do your 2 sit-ups, soles of your feet together. This is a very quick little metcon, so try your hardest to stay in time with me. And now that's your last sit-up. Let's lay down, stretch out, arms above your head, legs out nice and long, and take a few deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now we're going to do some stretches. So grab your left leg, bend it, and pull it over to the right hand side of your body, looking back towards your left arm. From there we're going to straighten out and then pull our opposite leg over, looking back towards our right arm. From there we're going to get up and get into a child's pose position and do some back stretches. So place your forehead on the ground with your arms nice and straight, and then creep both arms over to your right hand side, creating a little bit of space down the left lat. You'll feel a big stretch down your back, and now we're going to creep our arms over the other side and enjoy a good stretch down the other side. And that is it. We are done. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me today for this workout. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, and I'll see you again next time for some more fun workouts.